This is Transition on Atlantic Television Network. Trial of 5 lawyerists of Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State by the federal government on terrorism offenses is resumed in full-blown at the Federal High Court in Abuja today, March 12. The 5 lawyerists charged with terrorism offenses by the police are Chima Ezuma Ezebike, Prince Lukman Oladele, Kenneth Goodluck Okpasa, Osa Daniel, and Ocheja Tangod. An hearing notice issued on Monday by the court indicated that the trials will be conducted by Justice Mobolaji Olajuwon, who would resume the trials by 9 a.m. This is coming after the hearing notice was served on the 5 defendants through their respective lawyers. During the proceeding, the Inspector General of Police, through his counsel, Simon Law, the senior advocate of Nigerian Sun, is expected to call on witnesses that will testify against the defendants to establish the charges. It was also gathered that the defendants may, on the date, urge their respective motions on notice challenging their territorial jurisdiction of the courts to conduct the trial in Abuja. The Inspector General of Police had on January 25th slammed the terrorism charge on them for allegedly invading, vandalizing, and burning down the Rivers State House of Assembly last year, and were accused of committing the alleged terrorism offenses during the week of political upheaval and rocked Port Harcourt in October last year. The defendants have since been at Kuje prison in Abuja on remanded, having been denied bails by the court on account of gravity of the charges against them. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara says he counseled employment process at the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education in Rumolumini community due to intolerable irregularities would be revisited and the process restarted. This has he assumed that a new government council was now in place to oversee the process and ensure eliminations of the irregularities that hampered the previous process. Governor Fubara gave the assurance at the gate of Government House in Port Harcourt on Monday when he received some protesters who came to register their grievances as victims of the budge process. The governor, who was represented by the head of Rivers State Civil Service, Dr. George Nwake, told the protesters that it is not correct that the Fubara-led administration has neglected them or abandoned the process. The governor explained that the employment process was cancelled because that was done contravened the initial approval given to the institution. Governor Fubara said the management of the institution was directed based on their request to employ only 867 staff, with 220 of such persons being academic staff, but regretted that the institution employed 1,900 persons with only 123 being academic staff, which was grossly unacceptable. Governor Fubara urged the protesters to organize themselves properly so that it will be easy to interface with them when the employment process recommences, because only qualified persons will be employed within the stipulated number. Speaking on behalf of the protesters, Valentine Opani Baridum said they applied for the advertised position during interviewed, age that eventually worked for 9 months. All Progressives Congress, with its governorship candidate in November 11, 2023 gubernatorial election in Bayelsa State, Temi Perez Silva, has asked members of the Bayelsa State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal to rescue themselves in the hearing of their petition against the election of governor. The Yadiri APC and the Silva on Monday maintained that they cannot get justice or fair hearing from the tribunal as constituted under the Justice Adekunle Adeyele in a fresh motion on notice that have just argued. LPC and Silva insisted that they have no confidence or trust any longer in the tribunal. The motion was brought under paragraph 18 and 47 of the First Schedule of Electoral Act 2022 and the section 36 of 1999 Constitution. In the case of tribunal, members declined to rescue themselves. The 2 petitioners demanded in the alternative that the record of the proceedings from February 14, 2024, when the proceedings started, to February 27 when they closed their case. APC and Sylvia demanded that the record of proceedings must reflect the true petition of the witnesses' evidence. The motion to rescue was filed by Onyechi Ikpazu and Ahmed Raji, both senior advocates of Nigeria, on behalf of the two petitioners. The respondents in the APC and Sylvia petition are INEC Governor Duyediri, Deputy Governor Lawrence Erujakpo, and the People's Democratic Party, Charles Edosonwan, who stood in INEC, Chris Uche, who stood for Governor Duyediri, Chukuma Machuku Ume Council to Deputy Governor Lawrence Erujakpo, and Tayo Oyetibo, who represented the People's Democratic Party. All vehemently objected to granting of the request. Edo House of Assembly has directed that the impeachment notice on State Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu be published in national dailies. This follows the alleged refusal of the Deputy Governor to acknowledge the notice served on him by the House last week after the lawmakers commenced impeachment proceedings against Shaibu, accusing him of perjury and leaking of government secrets. The impeachment notice is believed to be the latest development in the rift between Shaibu and his principal, Governor Godwin Obaseki, and there had been an uneasy calm between the Deputy Governor and his principal since last year, when Shaibu declared his interest in joining his year's governorship race. The House took the decision to serve the notice by substitution on resumption of plenary on Monday, where the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Blessing Agbebako, alleged that Shaibu has rejected the impeachment notice served on him by the House. He then directed the clerk of the House, Yahaya Omobai, to publish the notice in national dailies. One of the first members of the People's Democratic Party in Abia State, Jerry Uzoziki, has resigned from his party and joined the ruling Labour Party in the state. He disclosed a defection to Labour Party a day after visiting Governor Alex Oti, where he had gone to pledge his support to the governor and his politics. Uzoziki, who was the immediate past House of Assembly members representing Omoya South in the Abia State House of Assembly and also a former LGA chairman, explained that his decision to quit PDP was personal, saying that he was convinced that the new Abia has come and Governor Alex Oti in charge of the state. He also said he was joining the crusade for the new Abia as campaigned by Governor Alex Oti, while stressing that he would do his best to support the present administration in the state to succeed, adding that he was impressed by the performance of Governor Oti so far. The defection of Uzoziki has further increased the speculation in the state that more members of opposition party in Abia are planning to dump their parties and joining the Labour Party. Deputy Governor of Abia State, Ikechukwu Emetu, has advised youth in Ohafia or any other part of the state who specialize in vandalism and theft of government and communal property to desist from the ugly business or spend years in prison. The Deputy Governor gave the warning during the interactive section with the youth and indigenous of Okun Otu community in Ohafia over the recent incident of vandalism at Eastern Region Estate Investment when processing mill and tank that were dismantled for illegal sale. The palm oil plantation was established in 1961 by the Eastern Region Estate Investment during the regime of Dr. Michael Opara as the prime of the defunct Eastern Region. adding that the youth of Okon on the matter, Emetus lamented that it was not only shameful but disgusting for the community leaders who allegedly mastermind the vandalism and sale of government and community property for the peanuts, and assured the commitment of the Governor Alex Oti administration to revamp the oil settlement to create employment for the youth and generate revenue for the state, while former President General of Okon Development Union Ndukwe Iko had expressed disappointment over the development and advised everyone who conceives such an idea to vandalize, loot and sell government property to desist forthwith. Abia State government says it has commenced investigation into the death of a student of Abia State University who lost his life in a crash between rival cult groups. Mr. Okoye Kanu, the State Commissioner for Information and Culture, who discloses on the outcome of a State Executive Council meeting held at the Government House of Moya, said it has come to the notice of the government that there have been a stream in the Abia State University. Utsuru, within one students group, the commissioner charged students of all tertiary institutions in the state to avoid engaging in any form of violence and actions that would affect their lives and studies. Meanwhile, Abia State Police Command is yet to make any statement on the matter. Enugu State Governor Peter Mba has appointed Mr. Chijoke Okonkwo and his name forwarded to the State House of Assembly for confirmation as the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Enugu State Electricity Regulatory Commission. The name of Mr. Chinedu Mbakara, Mr. Chuka Anunu, and Mr. Raben Okoye were also forwarded to the Assembly for confirmation as commissioners in the Commission. A letter forwarded to the House, which was read by the Speaker, Chief Uche Ngu, while the Speaker then directed the nominees to submit 25 copies of their curriculum vitals to the Clerk of the House and appear before the Assembly on Wednesday, 13 March 2024 for screening and confirmation. During the plenary, the House passed for the first reading an Enugu State University of Science and Technology Amendments Bill, while the Speaker enjoined his colleagues to study the bill for the robust debate during the second reading on a later date. Lagos State government has commenced the demolition of all illegal structures and shanties around the Jakande Estate and Mayegun in the Lekki area of the state. Tokunbo Uwobo, commissioners for the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources in the state, announced this in a post on his official X handle. The commissioner shared a video clip from the site where a structure is being pulled down, adding that the enforcement is geared towards reclaiming the coastal road alignment for the Lagos-Calabar Highway project of the federal government and the urban regeneration of the area. Socio-political analyst Emmanuel Irunyema has called on women interested in politics across the nation to brace up and strategize in line of their aim to political position in the country. He called names and appealed by women group under the People's Democratic Party in Nasarawa State, calling on Nigerian leadership to make way for women to hold higher political office like state governors and vice presidents. Iruyema spoke when he featured on Atlantic Television Open Conversation. The
opportunity to say Happy Women's Day in Area.
Thank you very much.
As it were. But the fact is this. Are they marginalized? Maybe circumstantially. Maybe they've not done enough. Maybe they need to do much more than what they think they are doing. Maybe even the style they are using to asking for what they think they are asking for is actually completely out of place. Okay. I can't remember men sitting down to asking that they should be given a special place for them to have grown to where they are today. I can't remember. When we have the mindset of dash, it will come. Power will never come. Women are, for me, better placed to make things happen than asking for it to happen. And that's my position. You have, by so-called estimated population, we have more women than men in the country. That's the first indice. So it simply tells you that there are more women. And so if women actually want a thing, they shouldn't be asking for it or begging for it. They can mobilize themselves to getting what they want.
He further maintained that politics and power is not a journey for the privileged, but rather it is for the determined and up-hearted.
But with the mindset of give us special, if you give women special privilege, who will give the men special privilege, or who will give the youths special privilege? It's neither here or there. I've heard some persons say women will be better presidents and women will be better governors. And I ask myself, the few that we have put in one place or the other, how far? That is a normal human nature. As bad as you think some men will be, you also find women in the same shoe. In the same variable too, that also does not mean that there won't be very good women. There could be excellently good women. Of course, some of them are in the private sector and we're seeing them doing beautifully very well, excellently very well. And I keep telling people the likes of Okonjo-Iweala has established herself as somebody who can stand anybody at any time. And I wonder if she was ever given any special privilege because she was a woman. She was never given any special privilege because she was a woman. And today she's the president of the World Bank, as it were. So let women begin to do rethinking. And then perhaps re-strategize, ask themselves what is failing in their ability to mobilize themselves to power.
Hunters have rescued Galadim Danladi Tau, the district head of Lao Town in Arodo Kola local government area of Taraba State, from kidnappers. This is coming after the kidnappers stormed the palace of the district head in the night on Saturday and adopted a traditional ruler. Responding to the alarm raised following the adoption, local hunters were said to have mobilized and tracked down the kidnappers to their hideout, where a confrontation ensued, with the hunters managing to overpower the criminals, securing the safe release of a traditional ruler. However, Galadima Donadi Tau sustained injuries during the ordeal, while the kidnappers launched a retaliatory attack on the town, but yet the hunters repelled the assault in the fence encounter that ensued for the several hours. Confirming the incident, the police spokesman in Taraba State, Usman Abdullahi, assured the normalcy has been restored to the area. Soldiers of Operation Whale Stroke have arrested Uda Ame, a councillor from Okbogu local government area of Benue State, for allegedly carrying a firearm without a license. The soldiers who were providing security coverage in the volatile region during the distribution of relief materials at Omuzu observed Mr. Ame in possession of a pistol, and arrest occurring during the distribution of rifle materials organized by Omele Onyilu, the caretaker chairperson of the local government, in collaboration with the Benue State Emergency Management Agency. Upon interrogation, Mr. Ame claimed to have received the firearm from Michael Ume Udu, the second in command of the Benue State Community Volunteer Corps at Umusu, purportedly for self-defense against Fulani bandits and kidnapping threats. Police is yet to make comments on the matter. About 7 persons were confirmed dead after bandit attack a market in Wose local government area of Plateau State. The attack, which happened at Zorak, a company market, left several others injured. A youth leader in the community, Abdullah Hassani, who confirmed the incident, said that the bandits arrived at the market and opened fire on the people transacting their businesses, which led to death of the victims. He called for more security development in the area, while spokesperson for the State Police Command, Alfred Alabo, confirmed the attack but said 4 and not 7 persons were killed. You are watching Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on
people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human trafficker. Honorable, you are a human